visit some brother out on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Hopefully, I don't sound as congested as I have been for the last few days. However, I'm feeling actually, besides that, I'm actually feeling really amazing today. So, with that being said, I'm here to do a talk and then a reading on Gotti, Angela Simmons, and apparently Glorilla. I know, it's very interesting. So, where do we start off with here? Well, apparently, I'm not sure when Gotti and Angela Simmons allegedly apparently broke up, but I'll say within the last month they had broken up with each other because fans have found out, and I did the research too. I tried looking up, and Angela Simmons and Gotti do not follow each other. Now, I'm not sure if they have been following each other and they've just recently unfollowed each other, or if fans are just finding out that they're not following each other. However, I'm sure fans are able to clock it like that. Honestly, they're so. With that being said, I'm sure that they was following each other. I did not follow either of them on social media, but I did actually do some researching. I was like, well, since I'm checking to see who's following who, Angela Simmons doesn't follow Moneybag Yo or follow Glorilla because those are two famous artists that Yo Gotti is producing, managing, signed to his company. Glorilla and Moneybag Yo is the ka-ching for Yo Gotti. So because of that, I went through Yo Gotti's page because I was like, okay, let's see if I can see if he's like posting a lot of Glorilla. I mean, it does look like that, but also I'm not too familiar with Moneybag Yo, but he definitely seems like on his account, he promotes his artists. Now, I quite don't know what Moneybag Yo looks like to see him in face while scrolling, but it's easy to point out Glorilla. Actually, I feel like that was the only female rapper he promoted on his page. Is Glorilla the only female artist signed to his company? Please, guys, do tell me that one, because every collaboration she had with Meg The Stallion and Sexy Red was up there. Her whole album and this like nice teaser that I was just seeing for her Gloricious album, and like everybody that collaborated had like a really nice photo cover album that like also went along with it too. It was really nice. Yeah, I was searching through his account to see if I could find any proof that Yo Gotti and Glorilla could possibly be dating. Because here is the thing. Here is what had allegedly happened. See, what happened was apparently Yo Gotti is spending a lot of money on Glorilla, buying her cars, buying her bags, buying her clothes. Hey, I mean, honestly, does this story sounds familiar? It kind of sounds like Diddy treatment. You know, when your like artist likes you, or like when you like your artist is producing for you nicely, you pay them back by buying them things that they want. However, apparently that is what Angela Simmons was maybe getting jealous over, or just wasn't questioning, or it could have just simply led to the puzzle pieces were starting to add up that apparently maybe Yo Gotti had an affair with Glorilla. Listen, this is just the rumor on the street. So because of that, it's a love triangle apparently. So I want to know, I'm going to pull some cards to see if this is truly a love triangle, or if it was just something else, or if Yo Gotti is just really promoting and being professional out here with his artists and just promoting his artists. And you know, a nice little incentive. You repay me so nicely, I will repay you back so nicely. You bring in the money, so the money that you bring in, I'm spending back on you. So this is where your money's going, Glorilla. If you're wondering why the bills and the checks might be looking a little bit short Remember, I did spend all this on you because this was your hard working money that has allowed me to buy these nice things for you. So really, is it really coming out of his pocket? Like, is Yo Gotti literally coming out of his own reservoir of money that Glorilla did not make or any of his other artists made? Is Yo Gotti literally dipping into his own bank account to fund Glorilla? Or is Glorilla funding herself and this is just the money that she had made for Yo Gotti that Yo Gotti is spending on her? There's two different stories. Those are two completely different instances. Because if he's not coming out of his pocket, then these are really Glorilla's gifts. But if he came out of his pockets, he legitimately gift her these nice, fine things. So, it's two ways to look at it. So because of that, I'm quite curious. I'm going to get to the cards. Some things about Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons is that they've been publicly dating since January of 2023. So if we want to look at the years and months, that's approximately 2 years and 4 months, 5 months. I'm not sure when they broke up, but it's been quite over 2 years and a half. Let's just round it off. 2 years and a half, plus or minus, they're breaking up. And, this couple breaks up, gets back together. So who knows how much they've actually spent in a relationship and how long they was in a relationship before they made it public. So because of that, that is something I also want to look into because they have this pattern of breaking up and getting back together. Is it really Glorilla or people speculating to try to? But I mean, listen, if they're not following each other on social media, you usually know what that means. Social media is a little bit too personal these days. So because of that, a follow really means I don't F with you like that. So I don't know. Social media wars get started over who follows who and who unfollowed who. It's yeah. So because of that, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was just laughing at the idea of how social media has trained us to be social in a sense, because I'm not sure how social it is to be competitive or overly sensitive or overly dependent on a follow. But I get it. It's social media. It's how you connect to be social with people that you actually care about or people that you actually enjoy and you want to see pop up on your feed. So because of that, it is a bit personal when somebody says, I no longer want to see you pop up on my page, out of sight, out of mind. So with that, let's just see. The first question, the first cards, first spread that I'm going to pull out is on Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti's relationship. I have the question right here. Yes. Was this breakup over Glorilla or was it? So if I see positive cards or positive affirmation cards, then I will say yes, it is true that they had broken up over Glorilla. However, if I see negative cards, I'm going to take that as a no, this doesn't have anything to do with Glorilla, and it actually is something else. So if that being said, the first card, I've done quite enough shuffling. So the first card right here to symbolize Yo Gotti and Angela. Right off the bat is a negative card, but hey, it's the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords can mean many of things, but that's definitely a negative card. So I could off the bat right now say, no, it's not based off of Glorilla, but the heartache is a heartache. And it does sometimes symbolize a third party intervention. So let's just see how the cards lay out. Okay, we see the Six of Pentacles. I'm not doing cards upside down today. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, I like the Pentacles. Okay, we have the Emperor. Okay. Oh, okay. And the Hierophant. Wow. Jesus. Okay. Pentacles from the neck down, honestly. Jeez. And then we got the Hierophant and the Emperor, which are two major arcana cards. You know, this is actually a quite peculiar situation because the emperor symbolizes a strong masculine figure. Maybe that's Yogade in the situation, but also on the same side, which is their future outcome, we have the hierophant, which is usually somebody that you go to or represents a seeking like spiritual guidance and figuring out where to go and take the next steps and where to move forward in this relationship. However, the Hierophant is looking back at the Three of Swords, which I had already said could be an either or. It's going to go either way, that either there is some third party intervention here, and that is Glorilla, or it could just be the fact that, okay, I'm just gonna have to say it actually is the fact that it's Glorilla. I tried, guys. I really tried to I tried to loop de doo, whoop de doo, and try not to dance around the bush, the merry-go-round. But no, it definitely looks like it because I was like, well, we have some really good positive cards here, which is the Six of Pentacles, which means something is growing, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is your craft and your business, and it was starting to feel like, yeah, his craft and his business is Glorilla, and so this really could be. I know, I didn't want to believe the rumors too, guys. I'm quite stunned, honestly. So, what I see here is that this I'm going to symbolize is the demise of a relationship. And what was the demise of the relationship? Well, looking around, we have the Six of Pentacles, which was the foundation card. It was looking good, it was looking promising. 2.5 years, that's still baby and it's like celebrity time, but still 2.5 years. They was going strong. They had the ups and the downs, the back together, the breakup. Usually those relationships are even hard to maintain in the long run anyway, but they were still making it work. So therefore there was something there. There was something flourishing in their foundation that they were trying to build towards. However, it seems like Yogati's career has gotten in the way of their relationship. And how could that be? Spending too much money on Glorilla, possibly, at least from the eyes of Angela Simmons. However, he's just like, it's my artist. I support my artists. I give back to my artists. I'm not sure if he's known to do this to other artists or if Glorilla is just a special case. And that's why Angela is a little bit upset. However, it definitely does say that in the past, his work has gotten in the way and has led them to the demise of their relationship right now. So whether it's Glorilla or whether it's him not being able to be around as often, or he could just be away doing too much, maybe surrounded by too many females. I don't know. It's the music industry, it's rapper industry, you know how it goes. So because of that, we still have here a strong dominant male figure, which is the emperor, which I'm going to assume is Yogati, still crowning this situation and coming out. Maybe he is I don't want to say he's controlled. Let me see what his zodiac sign is. I should have actually looked that up to see what their zodiac signs was, just to get a chemical makeup off of them. Okay, Yogati zodiac, he's a Taurus. Explains all the pentacles here. Okay. All pentacles and then a strong male energy. That sounds like Yogati. Everything is pointing to Yogati in this situation. Angela Simmons, her zodiac sign. Ooh, she's a Virgo. Okay, even better. I love that. There are both earth signs. So because of that, I see why there's a whole lot of earth in this. And it takes a lot to move an earth sign, both for a Virgo and a Taurus. And probably even harder if it was a Capricorn too, but still, it's just hard to move earth, period. So that's why they were trying to build towards this solid foundation. They was growing towards it. But something had fractured it, has caused it to crack, and it's just not going to flourish the way they wanted it to. And then lastly, I just want to know, what is Glorilla's zodiac sign? Oh, she's a Leo. I feel like I should have known that. That seems about right. So because of that, I don't see a well, the only fire sign I do see here, ironically, is the Emperor, which is in Aries. So if you want to even I know Aries isn't a Leo per se, but fire is still fire. So if you want to look at the fact that there's a bunch of earth, which symbolizes Angela and Yogati come together, wow, they even then they could have worked together and blend with just their energies with that alone. However, still crowning on the top or what's reigning over them is some fire energy. Both Leos, I mean, all fire signs are strong, period, whether it's an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but definitely a Leo and a Sagittarius, Leo and a Aries are definitely strong. You got to feel their energy. You got to literally hear them war, or you're going to feel them push their way through. Now, I'm not saying Glorilla was pushy and trying to like get money out of money bag, yo, or was trying to be like a homewrecker and enter herself into this relationship. I'm not saying any of that about her, but just the fact that this is the only fire sign, and it seems to be a very good, a very well balanced of the relationships energy and the outside energy, which just happens to be fire. And then the card in the center is neither air nor fire. I mean, it's either fire nor earth. It's air, which means it's all mental. And sometimes that mental can get all tied up with the heart and then it just goes haywire. So because of that, I just want to know just like four corners to see what the outside influences are. Now, I am for real using the Letterman for what they were really truly purposely used for, to figure out what is going on deeply in the situation. The tarot gives you a very spiritual, in-depth look, but the Letterman and the Kipper, they just go tell you straight up. If somebody's preoccupied, they preoccupied. If somebody is struck with poverty, well, they're just having a very bad lucky streak. If there's a false person, do not trust this person, okay? So these cards are literally going to tell us yay or nay if it is truly Glorilla that has came in and infiltrated this relationship, or if Yogati has allowed Glorilla just maybe by his infatuation by her, or just the fact that he wants to shower her in gifts because she's just so good to his business. Mental mind games, right? So with that being said, I have shuffled the cards. Okay, that card wanted to come out. So we see a card that is locked in a cage with a key. Okay. Oh, wow. The foundation represents the tree of life. Actually, it could be a little bit promising. Talking about a false person and how fitting I put it in the past section and not in the future section. Okay, I actually do like this. So let's just see the bottom. Okay, the bottom. I like that. Okay. So, I feel like that's exactly what it was. Infatuation. His eyes was off of the prize just a little bit too long. That's the sentiment I'm picking up, because this is the gilded cage, and what's inside the gilded cage? It's a rose. Rose could symbolize like wow, I forget my rose colors. Does a red rose symbolize romantic love or platonic love? Either or. It's a murky gray area zone. So because of that, we see an infatuation, a love, something that was blooming, locked away. I don't want to say like his little secret. It probably was his little secret. And it was something that he was willing to openly give away. The key in the past and then the key in the future with the Hierophant. And what does that key, the Hierophant? Okay, the Hierophant does not have the key facing the heart. But in this case, looking at the heart, because think about it, your heart, the rose represents the heart, and then the cage literally represents the rib cage, and then the key represents the metaphorically unlocking and uncaging. Actually, I just saw Russ Daimon make a whole video about uncaging and unlocking yourself. So that's exactly what was going on here with Yogati and Glorilla. She was just such a good client that he just had to endow her. He was just like, I'm let me just show you how thankful I am that you are my artist and that you are being a money machine for me. So he's like, thank you for all that you do, for being a great artist, for having all these great producers. Congratulations. Let me repay you. However, there could have been some trying to win her over, maybe trying to be a bit flashy because this is on the bottom, so that's on the down low. So he could have been trying to maybe flex a little bit. And who knows, maybe Glorilla could, well, the way Glorilla comes off on social media, she looks like she's not trying to get attached to anybody. But I could have sworn at one point she said she was in a situationship. Please let me know down in the comments if you guys remember Glorilla talking about being in a situationship and she didn't want to talk about who it was and what it was about. But she always comes off as somebody who doesn't want to be attached to anybody at this moment and doesn't want to be in a relationship. So because of that, that's why I can't quite see her trying to infiltrate into this relationship. But also, she could have been, she did. Hey, listen. I mean, I hate to be that way, but it's like free gifts. It's just like, oh my God. It's like buying like flowers and chocolates. It's not Valentine's Day and it's not our anniversary and it's not my birthday. You're just buying me chocolates and flowers. It's just like, wow, you just wanted to show your love and appreciation for me. Who isn't going to fall in love with that? I'd be like, oh my God, thank you. Like, oh my God, you think I'm worthy? Wow, thank you. It's like, oh my God, it's like flattering. So because of that, Glorilla could have said no, but she didn't. And, maybe he could have made some advances at her and maybe she kind of like shook it off a little bit, but not too much because she wanted to enjoy the goodies that came with it. All things possible. So it's like they say, it takes two to tango. So if we want to look at how the situation could have unfolded while they know they weren't in a relationship, but no, it does seem like Yo Gotti could have been trying to shoot his shot. And Glorilla wasn't receiving it, but she was like, I'll take the gifts though. So because of that's where I get that false person energy. Somebody that can't be trusted, somebody that isn't trying to do the right and the better of the situation. Somebody who is usually aware of what they're doing and they try to put on a facade as if they're not trying to play into it, but they're still playing into it kind of ordeal. You see what I mean here? But then in the future, I see a cutting off. Now, I did all this talk about Glorilla. I'm not going to say he's about to cut off Glorilla just for the sake of his relationship with Angela Simmons. That would be a huge stretch. However, I do see that maybe this break off that they are having, it can rekindle in the future because we see the tree of life down here at the bottom. And the tree of life usually symbolizes ups and downs, the journey throughout life. Like I said, they're both earth signs. And a tree is solidly firm ground in earth. And like I said, they was growing towards something. However, in the past, somebody just happened to slither their way in. Unintentionally, because Yo Gotti, I'm going to say, Yo Gotti started it first. La Gorilla didn't put a stop to it. So because of that, that's where like Angela could have been getting, I don't want to say jealous, but like looking at Glorilla a little bit like on a side eye, like, he has a girlfriend. Why are you still accepting all this from him? I get he's your manager or your boss, but does a boss usually gift you and shroud you in gifts unless they want something from you? So because of that, that's the way Angela is looking at the situation. So she had to cut and break the relationship for the moment and for the near future. But with the Hierophant and the I'll say the foundation of a tree, And we see here with the clouds card that some things was looking a bit murky. It wasn't. It just wasn't. Somebody lost sight along the way, and I'm gonna say it was Yo Gotti because that's the only masculine energy I see in here. Other than that, I literally don't see any other female besides this false person with a male in the background. Literally. That's the only false person I see here, and that's a female, and that just happens to be going with Glorilla. But like other than that, I don't see anybody, or I don't see any other player figures in here. That's exactly why I pulled out the Kipler deck, because these are people cards, and they're going to let you know if there is multiple people involved in the situation, or if it's just monetary, mundane things, or if it's like emotional, mental, or physical, or health. It's gonna lead you to the story. So that's why I had to pull out the Letterman / Kipper. However, I am going to pull out one final card, and this card is going to, because I do see some hope. I do see a glimmer of hope that this separation finally got Yo Gotti to like open up his eyes and realize maybe some damage he could have done, or that he, like I said, lost sight along the way, and he just needed something to open his eyes back up. So with that, we're going to pull one outcome card, or three, depending on how I feel. And this will tell us if there is a future, if Yo Gotti and Angela will get back together. Okay. Right here. Okay. I see a jackal. We're just going to pick 3 cards. We're going to pick 3 cards. The jackal's going to be for the past. Okay. Run right now is for the present. Okay. It's not looking too good. Come on, future. Do not let me down, future. And a mountain. How's the outcome card looking? Okay. I just didn't want to accept I just clearly don't want to accept the facts here. So, based off, it's a 50-50. It's up in the air because my mom has written yes and no on this, and I see no, maybe, no. And then I looked at the bottom of the deck because I wasn't happy with that, and I got a yes, which brings me back to a maybe. So it's like, I don't know. So let's read about what the cards say. The first card is a jackal, which definitely goes along with a false person, because a jackal is cunning, deceitful, sneaky, and is usually a warning to open up your eyes. Like I was just saying, open your eyes. Okay. So because of that, now that his eyes is going to be open, like I was saying, what's with this sickle and the ending of this relationship, I see that Angela, because I said that this 3 of Swords symbolized Angela, the fact that she was hurt in this situation by Yo Gotti's actions. We see run. How louder could we feel? How louder could we hear? She did not walk out this relationship. She ran. She forsaked everything and left everything behind and just ran for her life. Metaphorically, though. Metaphorically, she ran. So because of that, usually that is with urgency and it's speed. I mean, literally, what else could I describe run? That's metaphorically, and I kept saying that this relationship abruptly ended because maybe she had finally came to that conclusion, or the puzzle pieces started lining up so perfectly that she was just like, you know what, I'm going to drop this like a hot potato. And yeah, no, get yourself together, Yo Gotti, and come back to me. Because I see here in the future where I said, it looks kind of promising, but the sickle looming over we still see a cutting off energy in the future. Not only was there a cutoff in the present, but there was a cutoff in the future. But the future had the Hierophant and a foundation of building a future. I mean, sure, the Tree of Life symbolizes the ups and downs, but the ups and downs of the relationship. Is it Angela that has finally truly said, yeah, no, I'm not going to be dealing with this anymore. I'm getting off of the hamster wheel? Because the card that came out here, I know you guys can't see, but it's the mountain. The mountain represents a block card. And that usually, I mean, sometimes you got to figure out how you're going to get over the mountain. You can't get underneath the mountain. Can you get around the mountain? I mean, you got to look at this. How big is this mountain? And is it possible to get over this mountain? And that's what I'm seeing the future. So maybe not right away they're going to get back together. I'm still having some hope here, but maybe like longer down the line, like let's, instead of saying in a few months, let's let maybe say in a year, maybe by the end of the year, 6 months, 12 months. Let's see how much Angela needs to let this steam roll off of her, because like I said, Yo Gotti is not going to drop Glorilla from his company just to prove his love for Angela Simmons. So if she gets back in this relationship and she was already feeling a certain way about Yo Gotti and Glorilla, then it's like walking back into the dumpster fire and walking back into the same situation that hurt you. It's like, well, you're still working with Glorilla and have a problem with Glorilla, or at least the way you're treating Glorilla. And what if you do that same thing again? How am I not going to know that maybe there could be something really going on then? Or if I'm just being like mental or something like that, because then you can start gaslighting me. You see the rabbit hole you get into when you walk back into the same situation you left, and you basically ran and not walked. However, I see in the future still you can't see these cards. The bottom of the deck card that I saw was the Think card, which goes along with the Clouds card, because when it's cloudy, it's hard to think. It's unclear. You see some gray, and gray usually means something that is uncertain, trying to figure it out. It's looking hazy. It's like the eye of the storm. You still got some ways before you're at the edge of the storm and you're finally through the thickets of the clouds. Let's just see what's at the bottom of this deck. And the Mother of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups. I wish I didn't pick that card up. Well, the Queen of Cups here, I'm just going to say represents Angela, because that is a female card. Sorry. And weirdly enough, we're going to say, because it was somebody emotional, somebody who has probably invested in this relationship. I'm not sure if she's invested more than Yo Gotti, but as the Queen of Cups or the Mother of Cups, or just being a feminine with emotions, they can sometimes get the best of you. So it is sometimes just best to run and drop it, especially if you have been hurt in the situation. So because of that, yeah, all the bottom of the deck cards honestly don't paint a better picture either. Besides the Mother of Cups, the Mother of Cups is somebody who has more control over their emotions in this situation. And maybe that's why I finally said she finally had her eyes opened up. She finally figured it out. Puzzle pieces started lining together. Maybe some intuition started clicking or start cranking in her mind. And she was just like, you know what? Something here and here isn't lining up, and 1 + 1 isn't 2. So yeah, apparently 1 + 1 became 2, 3, 1. No, it's 1 × 1. So 1 × 1 here is still 1, but somehow 1 × 1 is now 2, and you're trying to make me believe that that is so. Did you guys get my Terrence Howard reference? So if that being said, so she's trying to make something logical here that isn't quite logical, or it isn't, or maybe she's not in the right frame and space to look at it rationally. So she had to take that step back and try to look at it over and study it and reanalyze it to come to a different conclusion. So that's why she needs to think, and she needs to get past this cloudy moment. That's why I said it's not going to be something that's just going to quickly die over in a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months. But I'm saying 6 months to 12 months. So that's like a whole year. Like when I see you guys next summer, kind of year, let's see how it's going then. But anything could change from there, like I said. But the mountain put a hard stop on that, because you're not going to get over a mountain unless you just have. I mean, if you want to take you could try to walk up a mountain. I don't know how long that's going to take you. You could try to drive up the mountain, but I'm not sure how safe that is. So with all that, you got to look at all of that. And honestly, that's just a lot of planning to do. And I'm honestly not an outdoorsy person like that. I don't go camping and stuff like that. So because of that, I wouldn't know how to prepare for a mountain, and it just seems overwhelming. So that, for that sake, that's why I'm just like, this is going to take a while. If they come back together, they definitely going to need some time break, some thinking, some really like one-on-one soul searching, and like figure out where's the next future for this, because this breaking up and getting back together is also not healthy too for a relationship. So they have all that to think about and worry about for their future, because are they going to be doing that until they're like in their 80s? Like, come on now. And it's like, what if they get married? You can't get married and get divorced, and then married and get divorced. You're gonna drive the courts crazy. So with that being said, it's honestly that it's that fork in the road of, do we keep going forward with this relationship, or have we really ran a course of our relationship and this is just where we got to put an end to it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. It seems like, I want to say it seems like the decision is on Angela, but she has put all the cards and laid it out on Gotti. So with that being said, we'll see what happens. If that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I sure did. I had to do a little bit of deep dive. I had to tap my toes in all my cards that I'm familiar with. So if that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. And hey, if you enjoyed this reading style where I get to put in the letterman, do let me know. I do like these cards. And that's what I was using before I had migrated over to the big boys, the Wider Wright Smith deck, but animal form. I gotta have my own style. So if that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. We would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share if you know somebody that likes Angela Simmons, Gotti, or Glorilla, or if you're just into celebrity gossip news, share that with somebody that is into all of that. Or if they're just into esoteric stuff and astrology, hey, we got plenty of content for them to look through, and other people that we talk about. So with that being said, please share and play us forward. And with that being said, now I think I've said everything. Like I said, leave your comments down below. How do you feel about this reading in this relationship? Do you believe it was over Glorilla? Did the cards convince you more that it was all about Glorilla, or did it convince you less that it was about Glorilla? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you sunflowers, in the next one. Sunflowers.